Okay, another day, another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make this responsive navbar from scratch. So if you take a look at this navbar right here, you have this nice little hover. When you hover on it, or this, you have this button, you also this nice hover. Then I can also click on about, takes you to the about page. Click on service, take you to the service page. So this is also using the route router to navigate to different pages. So if I inspect this right here, you can see these changes here. The moment you read the mobile screen, you have this hamburger here that when you click on it, or basically let me just make it like this so it can be okay. So if you look at what you have here, if I click on this hamburger, it changes to, it animate this little nice animation. We have this, you have your navbar component here as well. You have the whole about, and you can see all this is working. You have your whole, you can see your home page as well. So when I get back to this inspect page right here, you can see this. So this is very responsive. You can see the changes to this hamburger menu. So this is what I'm going to be doing today in today's video. So let's head over and open our command prompt. So cmd. So in this command prompt, let me see if I can increase the font a little bit. So let's say 28. Okay, so this is the nice now. So in my command prompt, let's navigate to our desktop. So desktop. So on my desktop, I have a folder called YouTube. So wherever you want to create your projects, you can just navigate to that place. So on my desktop, I have a folder called YouTube, which is YT short form on my folder. So I've navigated into that folder. So you are going to create a new React app. So you just have to navigate to wherever you are creating. If it's on your desktop, your CD desktop, then you go to npx create React. It's supposed to be dashboard to them. Create React app. Then the name of your app. So let's say my app. So nps create React app, and the name of the app is my app. So I want to click enter. So you need internet connection to do this. So this may take some time. So I'm going to quickly skip the video until it gets finished. Then we'll continue from there. So as you can see now, I've finished installing my React app. If you look at here, it says happy hacking, which means it has finished installing. You can see successfully created my React app at the part where we navigate to on our desktop in that folder. So right now we are going to navigate into the folder where we created the React app. So we are going to go see again cd, then the name of the app we created. This my app. This is the name of the React app. If you look at this, say we suggest that you begin by typing cd my app. So now that we are in the app, let's quickly go ahead and open it. Using Visual Code Editor. I don't know which of the code editor you are using, but I'll be using Visual Code Editor. So as you can see, we've opened this. Yeah, in my terminal, I'm going to type npm start. I'll click enter. So this will open our React app. This is supposed to run the React app on a new server. So as you can see, I'm already running another on the React server, which is this page here. So it's basically asking me to run it on another server. So just run it on the first server. So this is running on localhost 3001. So as you can see, we have our brand new React app installed now. You can see the first page showed up now. So right now, let's get into this and do some customization. So right now, one last thing, we need to install React Router DOM, which is what helps. So inside our app, you can see whenever we click on any of the nav, it navigates to another page. If you look at here, if you are home, look at this localhost. You click on about, you can see this / about here, which means we are in the about page, same as the services, we are in the services page. So what is helping us do this is the React Router DOM. So we need to install that as well. So we'll say npm install. If you already have it installed globally in your system, you don't have to worry about it. npm install React Router DOM. So click enter. So it will take a minute to install. But as you can see, it has finished installing. So we'll get back to our code editor. So right here, we are going into the index dots. Inside our source folder, you have to go to index.js. Yeah. So inside our index.js. So right under, yeah, we say import. So we say we are going to import browser router. That's what we are going to import for React Router DOM. So we can see this is import browser router from React Router DOM, which we just installed. So inside our React Street mode, let's come here, we open a new tag. So let's say browser router, which is what we installed here. So let's copy this app component and right inside the browser router component, paste the app here. So it means you are rendering our app here. So now let's go to, okay, let's create this. We don't need this. Okay. Hey, you can remove the report web routers as well if you don't want it to. So right now, let's quickly go to the app.js now. So inside the app.js, you are going to remove all these. We don't need them. So let's remove everything here. Then let's remove this class name app as well. Okay, so now the next thing you are going to do is you are going to come to, so let's write inside the div. Let's create a Navbar component first. Yeah. So inside our source, which is the SRC folder, we'll create a new folder. called components. So inside the src folder, which is the source folder, we created a new folder called component, and inside that component we'll create a file called navbar. So we say navbar.jsx. So what I've realized is sometimes for beginners' sake, sometimes beginners confuse themselves about this extension .js and .jss. So whatever you choose to go with, if you want to go with .js, which is the JavaScript, so let's say something like navbar.js, or you want to go with .jss, all depends on you, but I like to go with the .jss because I'm basically going to be writing HTML. So with the GSS, it gives you the freedom to write HTML in React. So that's the reason I'm going with the GSX. So now inside my navbar.jss, let's create a new component. So we'll say first we import React. So import React from React here. Then we'll come here. Should say constant. Then we'll define our navbar. Snapback. So open curly braces. There's supposed to be this sign around this. Okay. So we'll return so open bracket. So let's come down here. So we'll say export default. Then navbar. Alright, nicely down here. So now inside our return, let's just create some div. Yeah. Our app.js. Yeah. Then we'll call the navbar component, which we just created here. So I'll say navbar. So with this will auto import the navbar for me here. In case it doesn't auto import the navbar, then you need to, after calling your navbar component, you need to import navbar from where the source where you created your navbar component. So inside my component folder, which is ./component/navbar, which means inside my component folder I created a file called navbar, and inside that navbar, which is the navbar.js, I'm importing this navbar inside the app.js, and inside the index.js as well, I'm importing that app, which I'm importing the navbar in it inside the index.js. So this is what it means basically. So right now we can come back here inside the navbar and just say hello world something. So okay, let's remove this logo that is reaching. We don't need it. Inside app.js, then inside the okay, first let's see what you got. So if you look at how we can see this hello world rendering here, so it means it's working. So before we create that, let's go into our app.css. I don't think we need it, so let's just delete it. So delete. So I'll delete my app.css. So we need to go into there. I think it's supposed to be app. They remove the app.css because we deleted it. So inside the app.js, we remove the app.css because we no longer need it here. So we are going to maintain the index.css. Okay, we are going to maintain this. So if you don't want this to, you can just remove it. It's just up to you. It's up to you. And if you don't want this setup.gss, this report vitals, you just have to remove them. But you need to make sure when you remove them, you need to go to where it's imported by default and remove it from there. So for example, if you delete this report vitals, you need to remove it from here as well. So without wasting much time, let's get to creating a Navbar quickly. So right now, let's remove this hello world. So inside this div, I'll be giving it a class name of Navbar. So now inside this, we'll create our logo. So let's say span, which is there, that's the span tag. And inside this span tag, I also give it a class name of, let's say, nav logo. So nav logo. All right. So inside this span tag as well, we call img tag, which is for loading image. So we are going to be using so inside your public folder, you can see there are some logos here, which comes by default whenever you install your React app. Logo 192 and logo 512. So we are going to use any of them. So inside our source, open curly braces, open and close. Okay, we are supposed to remove this. So curly braces, double open and close. And open our double quote tag. So like I said, we are going to be using one of these logos. So we are going to use the logo logo 192.png. So which is the logo that comes by default. So logo 192.png. So if you come here, you can see the logo we are using. It appears here perfectly. So we'll get back. So we'll start them very soon. So now under this span, so we are creating a new div. So inside this div, we'll give it a class name of nav items. So inside this nav items right here, we'll create a link. So first, let's import the link from React router, which will help us navigate to our pages. So we say import. So link from React router done. So import link from React router done. Then write inside this div, we have our link tag. So we have home. Then inside the home, we have two. So this will basically take us to wherever we click. So it means when you click on home, to take you to /home. So let's copy this. Need 4 of them. So we'll change this to about. And then we'll change this to services. Then finally contact. Right. So here is going to be about, means it will navigate to about. Then here will be services. Then here will navigate to contact. So basically that's what it's doing. Yeah. So right and that. Okay, so if I check, okay, you can see we have this logo here, then we have these nav items here. And see it lie down here. So right under these nav items, we need to have a button. So say button. So inside this button, we'll have a span tag as well that will contain the text. So inside this text, we just say get started. Right. So okay, if you look at the changes, okay, I have made mistake as the span supposed to be lowercase, not uppercase. So if I check here, you still have error. Okay, it's back. So we have our just started button. So we'll start all this in a minute. So now under this div, we'll create a new div as well with the class name. So this is going to be the toggle button that appears when you're on the mobile screen. So give it a class name. So we'll say nav toggle. Nav toggle. Alright, so inside this nav toggle, we want to have a div as well. So div, another div, also with the class name hamburger. So say hamburger, right? So this is basically going to be the hamburger that appears when you're on the mobile screen, right? So while you are going to use some use state to determine active. So it means that will determine when you're on mobile screen, you want this hamburger to appear and what you want to do with it. So and now let's come up here. Let's say constant. I'll be in the list form. So we define active, then is active, and is active. So we'll grade this to use state. So before we do that, we'll come here. So from React, bring format, we use state. So we are importing use state from React. So use okay. So after importing the use state, we'll come here. So we are going to use state. So we'll say false. So I'll explain all this. So after defining this, so we'll come. Okay, so let's change this right here. So inside where we created our toggle, we will bring a double quote, a curly bracket here and here as well. So we'll come here. I'm going to remove this nav toggle for now. So we are going to bring a double quote, I think a quote which is called, I think, grave accent or something. So it's more like a single quote, but it's not a single quote. So on my Windows keyboard, I'm using Windows, and on my keyboard, that quote comes before the 1. So where the numeric keys are, we have 1, 2, 3 up to the 0. So the first key that comes before the 1, so I just click Control. No, okay. Okay, not control. I think you click on the function key. So we click on the function key and the symbol, it gives you the grave accent. So okay, when I go to Chrome, let's see if I can search what I'm talking about. Grave accents. Okay, let's go to images. Okay, so the code to look something like this. So that's what I'm talking about, the grave accent. So it's more like a single code, but it's not a single code. So I just hope it doesn't confuse you. So inside the grave accent code, I'm going to then now write my nav items. Okay, this was nav toggle. Right. So in front of the nav toggle, right, okay, we'll bring a dollar sign. We'll open another curly braces. Then we are going to call the active that we define. So like I said, I'll explain all this in a minute, so we don't need to worry. So we have switch here as well. Then okay, I don't know. Okay, so inside this, let's go to the next slide. So we define our on click function. So let's just say on click. We open curly braces, then we open another bracket. So open the arrow function. Then is active. Then we open another curly braces. Then active. So you realize that at the top here, we define this constant here. We say active and it's active right here. So that's what we are calling in it here. So you look at our class name here. It's the same as the class name we give to the nav toggle. So what this is online. So you have our active. Okay, I think I get why this is happening. So I think this is supposed to be, so let's copy this and delete it. So it's supposed to be inside this quote right here. Okay, so it's supposed to be wrapped inside this double quotes that we just pasted there. So let's copy the same thing. We do the same thing to the nav items. So let's just copy this. So here we'll claim the class name. Then we'll paste that there. Then we'll change this to nav items. Now right there, so active and switch. Right. So now the next thing is you are going to do CSS. So basically what is left now is a bunch of CSS to make this look better. This doesn't look better. So here, right here, inside the components folder, we'll create a new file called navbar.css. Navbar.css. Then back to the navbar.jsx. Let's import it here. So import navbar.css. After which, now we'll go inside our navbar.css. So it's just going to write a bunch of CSS. So let's First, we'll pick this Navbar class. We'll come here. So paste it. So we'll give it the height 75 pixels. So display flex. So flex. Justify content. So space around. We'll align items center. I'll give it this background color. So I have this color code. So that will be 2, 8, then 2, C34. So it looks more like black. Okay, so you can see these changes right here, the background color there. So now I'm going to go for the logo. So right here, let's copy this nav logo. So let me add this Navbar class to make it more specific. So it means Navbar / nav logo. So give this basically margin of 15 pixels. So copy this down. We'll say img. So what this means is inside the navbar we have this div which is called the navbar with the class navbar. Then we have the nav logo for the span. Inside this span we have this img tag which is the one logo 192. So we are targeting this image. So that's why we say navbar nav logo img. So we are going to give height of 15 pixels. 15. So come here. I think it's too small. So let's say 95 pixels. Or let's say 65. Okay, so I think the size look better now. So now you're going to target the nav items. That's the next thing you're going to do. So here we go here. We say navbar. Now we'll target the nav items. Nav items. Okay. So we'll start with, we'll give it the color of white. So this 6 or this F will give it like white. Then we'll give it the font size. So font size of 16 pixels. So text decoration in that. But we have a margin as well. 15 pixels. We have position relative. We have opacity of 0.9. So when we come here, okay, it's not working. Let's see. Okay, so right in front of these nav items, let's add a tag here, the anchor tag. Okay, so you can see this looks better now. Okay, so from here going, this is just going to be a bunch of CSS. So to find what I want to do now is I'm going to copy the whole CSS to save time from the widget that I've already made and paste them here. So I'm going to put the link in the description for you to get it down. So I can be typing the CSS here to take time, and if you want it, I'll do it for you, but I feel like it's going to be a whole lot of time. So it's just going to be a bunch of CSS that I'm going to be typing. So I'm going to other project. So I want to copy. So I'll provide a link to this CSS for you. So I'll just paste it here. So refresh this. Okay, so you can see this is just a bunch of CSS. So now let me say now when I go to the mobile screen, you can see this tag here. Okay, so let me explain. Since I just copy and paste the CSS, let me explain this side for you. So you can see inside our CSS, we have this hamburger here. So if you look at them, okay, let's start from here. If you look at these nav items, it means that whenever the navbar is active, it will add this class name, which is the switch here. Same thing as here. So if you look at our CSS, we have this switch. Yeah, the switch class name. Oh, right, it's supposed to be somewhere. Okay, you can see we have this switch class name, which we made it the transform translate x, which is 0 here. So same thing as the hamburger. If you go to our screen right now, if I go to the mobile screen, so if you look at this nav item here, this was in some cases this was supposed to be an image or maybe SVG or something where you add it, but in this case this is not an image that we just add. Yeah, this hamburger you are seeing here, we just made it using the CSS. So for example, if I get back to the code, you can see in the CSS we have this hamburger. So for example, if I change this to yellow, so this is yellow, I can change to yellow. So this before is the hamburger. It is the before as well. So if you change this to yellow, if I come here, you can see the hamburger changes to yellow color here. This is the after to change to yellow. So it means everything you are seeing there is just a bunch of CSS. It's not an image we just added there with the code again. So right now let's create the route. See that when you click on the about, nothing happens. Click on the services. It's supposed to navigate to all those pages. So quickly when we get here, we are going to create a new page. So inside our components folder, create a new file called, let's say, home.js, which will render the home page. So home.js, or we can do home.jsx like I said. So I just say home.jsx. Then we'll have our about.jsx. Then we'll have services.jsx as well. Then one for our contacts. So contact.jsx. So now inside our home.jsx, let's just define a function. So we import React. So we'll say constant. We'll say home. So we'll define arrow function. Supposed to be silent. Open curly braces. So we return. So I just was turning a simple div that will say home page. So div inside this we have an h1 tag. Just a whole page. So right under here we'll export default home page. Default home. Alright, so this will render the home. So let's copy this. We'll do the same to the rest. So we'll copy this, then we'll go to the about and paste this. Then all we have to change is this to about. So we'll change this to about as well. So then this will be about page. Then we'll go to the services and do the same thing. So this should be services. It should be services. This should be services page. Then finally the contact. So we'll paste this. Change this to contact. Alright. So for this to work, we need to, so you can see inside our Navbar.js, we define this part here. So we need to render this, the components to this part. So it means that whenever you go to this part, it will show you whatever component you render to that part. So quickly, let's come to the app.js. So inside there, I'm going to have routes, which will have tag routes. So, sorry, it's supposed to be routes. Okay. So then we'll come to the top and import routes from routes addon. So it has auto import for me already. So you need to make sure you import routes from routes addon, so you won't get problem with this. So inside this route, we'll also import route here as well. So route and route. Then inside here, we have our route. So we want this to route to, let's add the tag. So this is supposed to be self-closing tag. So we then define our path to home. So it means when we go to home, we are rendering this path. So we'll say exact element. Then we'll open and close curly braces here. Then we'll call our home component. So you see inside our home.js, we have this home component here, or home element. So inside here, the app.js, we are going to call that home. So home. So it's also supposed to be a self-closing tag. Then we come and import it at the top here. So it has auto import from, so you can see import home from home component. So we import the rest. is for what they're about, as well from about component. They will import services from component services. Then finally the contact. Okay, so right here, let's repeat this. So we have our about, then we have services. Okay, let's look at the Navbar.js. Render services here. So services, then contact. So we need to render the about to the about component. So we'll change this to about. We'll change this to services. Change this to services. This is services from a service. Okay, that's. Then we'll have our contact. So it means when we go to home to render the home component, to go to the about to render the about component, and so on. So that's what it is. So right now I will go back to our page now. And I click on about. Okay, it's not random. Let's refresh it. So you can see the about is now working. So if I click on services, you can see the services here. If we go to contacts, you can see contact, homepage. So from the same. And the last thing we want to do is, if we check the, now that it's working on the, okay, we are about already services page. And that the routing is working, let's check the mobile version. So if you see that if I click here, the routing is working perfectly. I can see the home page, about page is also working. But the problem with this is that if you click on the services page, I want this navbar to close on its own. I don't want to close this again before I come to my service page. So anytime you click on the link, the navbar should automatically close. So to do that is just simple. So we just get back to our code. So now let's go to our navbar.jsx. Navbar.jsx. Then we'll define a handle on click function. So right under here, we'll define say constant. So let's say handle link. Let's say handle link click. So we can say handle nav, anything you want to type. So handle nav click. Then so this is basically going to be arrow function. So we just say we call the is active. Yeah, the is active that we define at the top. We'll call it down. We'll set it to false. Okay, so we are coming to each of the nav links here. And we are going to call or click. So let's copy this. So inside the home, we'll say on click. So on click, then we'll paste the handle on click there. So let's do the same thing to the rest, the link. So do the same thing to the about, the services as well. Okay, so now let's test it and see. So if I come back here and I click on this, if I tap on click on about, you can see the page automatically closes on its own. If I click on the services, it closes on its own again. So if you click on contact, then it takes it to the contact page, then it closes the pop up. So you come back to home. So right now, basically, so let me just use the inspect, the tab. So this is all for today. As you can see, it's working perfectly now. Everything's working now. It's working perfectly now. So this is for today's video, and we are going to continue this project as well to do a whole lot of things with it. So if you are new to this channel and this video is very helpful for you, don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you have any problem, you can also drop your comment in the comment section so I can look at for you. And I'm going to drop the first code as well. So for example, the CSS, I just copy and paste so that I can also have access to it. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in another video.